go through, like Tony or someone, you should take the opportunity to see what he has. But I've seen people, especially in the town I live in, I've seen people build these monstrosities of homes, and then they'll have their decorator decide what art to buy, as opposed to him, what you did. Listen, we have a germ in us that makes us different. When I meet people all the time, the first thing when I break the ice in conversation is, I say, what do you collect? And a lot of them say, I don't collect anything. And then when you dig into it, they kind of collect something. But the people that are collectors, it's just like, and it's men, it's really kind of a guy thing more than women, and it's inbred in us. And I don't know why we do it, it's just, but we like it, and it's part of who we are. But it always amazes me when, the standard answer you collect, I collect CDs. You're great, you're fabulous. I love when people come to my home and I can show them the things that I love and the things that I collect and the pride I have in what I've accumulated. It makes me feel good. It's what works for me. And we're all different. Any other questions?
The next question is just about the current market. I don't know if this is right, but it seems that you've had, in the last 4 years, you've had gold go from 600, 800, 1200, 1400, 1800. But my perception of the coin market is that all the lousy coins they've done really poorly. The better coins I don't know if they've actually kept up with the price of gold. So even the best coins, just in terms of me watching the values of the best coins, they haven't doubled since 2009.
I don't think that's a fair question because I don't think anything has performed like gold in the last 20 years.
But even gold stocks haven't. So I'm trying to understand this phenomenon of gold going like this,
right?
And then the things that are attached to gold, coins, being even the quality stuff being much more muted in terms of, I just remember like Heritage had a sale in 2007 opposed to what was really very old coins. I look at that sort of the peak and momentum. Yeah, and sort of since then it's sort of like.
Is that the one where I bought all this stuff out of?
It's kept going up, but it's not been at the same range as the price.
Okay.
So I'm trying to understand because I know there's still people putting money in this market, the phenomenon of prices not going up of the things people collect, whereas the gold prices.
I can tell you what I think about that, and I'm sure we'll have different kind of responses. I think all collectibles over the last 10 years, the great things have appreciated greatly. I'm sure there's some markets you can say they peaked out at others. That when there was all that loose money buying certain artworks in '07 that are higher than now. But I think the really great, fresh, anything that would come out now, whether it's coins or the right Klimt or the right one that's the best of anything, I think now would be destined to bring the record prices of all times. I think in almost any collecting field. I know it's 100% true about coins, and you know it's true as well. You know it's true with certain very special coins. And it's that very top of all collectibles that are there. Now, as to the medium and low range stuff that aren't completely affected by the price of the metals, you're right. I mean, but again, all collectibles are in that same range.
It's like the economy. The people that are rich up in that stratosphere are doing great. The people down here, coins down here, are not doing so well. Okay?
Let's go to a different market, and it'll give you the analogy. It's the exact same thing that's happening in coins. There's two winds blowing, right? We have a crappy economy blowing against us. We have gold blowing at our backs. So Heritage just has an auction. We were right here 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago at the A&A of Sports Collectibles. A Cy Young jersey sells for $600,000. Good job, Todd. 5 times more than it's ever sold for. A Joe Jackson bat, $525,000. A Lou Gehrig 1934 Japanese tour jersey. Not a game-worn Yankees jersey, but a crappy Japanese tour jersey sells for $300,000. The hat he wore in Japan sells for $95,000. The high end of these collectibles.
And sells to the Chinese.
Rag. Did it? Rag. Eddie Plank T206s are 70 grand versus our publication on prices of 40 grand. Okay, a rag of 3, which is like a large that you can barely see, you know? Like it's run over. So very high-end rarities, not necessarily quality, rarity and quality, big prices. Ken Griffey rookie card, okay? Not a steroid user. If he did, he would have hit more home runs. If he would have worked, at least if he would have went into the gym once, he would have probably had more energy. Okay, yes, Hall of Famer, you know, one of the greatest players ever. You know, 1998, his rookie card, $3,000. Okay, today, $300. Same thing with States Quarters, all the modern coins. I call it the TV buyers that buy that stuff. They've been affected by the wind blowing in our faces, this crappy economy. Okay, so you have 2 things going. You look at all collectibles, and you'll see like mega prices for the really special stuff. The run-of-the-mill stuff is being really affected by the economy. And you said 2007, but that was just a tickle before we had a slight downturn in the financial markets, right? Okay. And that affected most of the run-of-the-mill coins also, with the exception of, you know, CERT 20s, which got pushed up by
gold or silver.
By bullion. The other point is gold has moved very fast, okay? And the coin market doesn't move quite as fast as gold. We saw that in 79 and 80. Between 76 and 80, prices went up on average 1,000%, some more. 1976, recent nickels and proof were 110 on the gray sheet. You paid Eddie Hibbs $32.50, but on average it was about 1,000%. Bat proof gold. 2.5 went from 2,500 to 25,000. 5s went from 3,500 to 35,000. 20s went from I sold them to Bob Laughlin for 7,500. They went to 80, 90,000. It was about 1,000%. But it wasn't with the gold and silver. For instance, type coins really didn't take off until January, February '79. Almost 800 of 1,000% was in an 18-month, 15-month period. So the gold's going to move a little quicker than the coins, and the run-of-the-mill stuff has this, you know, crappy economy holding it, and everything else in Ken Griffey rookie cards.
I mean, the truth of the matter is great collectibles welcome.
So maybe the thing that's happening with coins is that the great coins are just not being sold, so that's why you see. Because I use like after every heritage auction, I look at the top 10 prices of the top 10 coins. In 2007, there was a larger dollar value than say this last sale where there was one coin over $1 million and the other one was $300,000.
There are more coins getting sold privately today that are not going through auction. I know Tom won't hear that.
Okay.
There are more expensive coins being sold.
Joe, he sold a 7-figure coin at this show.
No, as could we. We knew plenty of private business as well. It's amazing what goes on
It's
behind.
because there wasn't a 1913 Liberty nickel or $1804 or ultra high relief or 27D20 in the sale. They would have brought them in. They didn't. A 1975 Mill S dime sold for $349,000. Only 2 notes. That's a record for a modern coin by 3.
55 S 3.
Yeah, that was actually in 1983.
Yeah.
I think 35,000 for that coin.
You put your quarter in a sale, it'll bring value.
But are we not comparing?
You don't have to put it in sale.
But you don't want to sell your quarter, that's the point. You don't want to sell your quarter, that's the point. These coins aren't selling. I'd love to buy a 13 nickel. Love to buy one.
I laughed at him when he paid $52,000 for a Mickey Mantle rookie card. And I said, Dave, $52,000. A couple years later, some guy says something to him, and so David says, oh, it's a conflict of interest to have baseball cards? I'll sell my baseball card. He sold that. It brought $120,000. I thought, oh my God, man, that's beating forever. David just told me that the guy's turned out what, $1 billion?
Yeah.
He's turned out $1 million.
I have a great one related story with that too, just really. I love this story because it relates to all that. You know Alex Acevedo in New York? Alex is a really big art dealer in New York. He also dabbles in everything. He's a good friend of Tony Turner's. Alex bought coins and currency and stuff in the 80s when they were cheap. 1979 A&A, Lynn Knight and I bought and sold the Grand Watermelons of ours. I remember because we flipped Q 50 or 60,000, and he lost it at 60,000.
It's $1,000 bill of
1890 with the very big zeros. It's the cover of the 100 Greatest Notes note. So let me get my years right. You know, I'm going to screw them up. In the mid-80s, Lynn had a very good customer on Long Island named Frank Levison, a lovely guy, worker guy, another great collector who did it, great currency collector. Wanted to decide he had enough money, he wanted to buy the Grand Watermelon. Alex still had the note. Alex had bought it probably for about $100,000 between the time Tony had got it for him. I, at the time, had a Maxfield Parrish painting. Anyone here familiar with Maxfield Parrish? That was American Illustrator. By the way, that's anyway. So, I had a painting. So this was actually my favorite deal I ever did because I felt I was the only person in the history of the coin business that could have done this. I took my painting, I traded it to Alex for the note, and then traded the note to Frank for a whole bunch of coins. Frank sold the note through Lynn. I'm going to say about 8 years ago. I think it sold for about 2003. His collection, and it brought about 900,000. 880. Thank you. Yeah, the note would now bring $2.5 million easily. That's really interesting. Notes worth $2.5 million. The painting, by coincidence, we sold at Sotheby's this year. It was in my bedroom. It brought $1 million. It brought $1.2 million plus $1.380. I can't tell you what the coins are bringing because I don't even remember what was there. It just didn't seem like the coins added up to that much. Any $1 million coins today, but they may have. But that actually was the most interesting deal I ever did because I felt like I was on the record. All three people knew what they were doing. You know, so it was like in a trade like that, painting for a note for coins, to put that threesome together would be very difficult. Where all people got full equity. That's that.
At the time you did the deal, Kevin, can you remember what you realized out of the coins you got for the?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I mean it was like 160. I mean like $15,000 or something.
Okay.
Wait, we have another good market here. Tom Kessel deals in very high-end firearms, right? Okay, so is this whole the best of the best doing well, the run-of-the-mill stuff coming down?
Same thing, identical.
Every market. I don't know any market.
And my comment as far as, the highly collectibles generating the most money now in reference to gold, I feel whether it's coins or firearms, and firearms are actually more restricted than coins because of the federal regulations with them. as far as being, let's say, collectible you can talk about among friends. A lot of gun collectors won't because it's not politically correct for coins. But I feel whether it's coins or guns or any other collectible, it's a very small percentage of the American people that are into it, in reference to sitting at night on TV and hearing about buying gold because the economy is entertaining. So I think the exposure to gold and the reason gold is going up is a fear element, you know, percentage-wise, versus a more realistic element within the collector's field.
I think we should ask you that question. You'd be the only one here that could give us a good answer. People ask me about gold all the time, I say, I have no idea. Let me ask someone who does have an idea. What do you think?
Comparing apples to apples, high-end collectibles versus
Yeah.
generic gold and
Yeah.
silver.
One of them
Two
is
different
economic.
No, I'm talking about gold. What do you think about gold right now?
Well, I mean, the buyers of gold are basically they lost faith in the financial system. So there's, I mean, if you take all the gold in the world, it's in the 3 so there's not a lot of it, and in the last 10 years, we've only found like 1% of your gold each year. So that's not much. So, I think the average person owns 0.1% of their net worth in gold. So it's very, very high. So there's basically money coming from a lot of other things going into a small pool of assets.
It's like what we have with
High
coins.
demand, low supply, right?
If $10 billion came into the coin,
Yeah.
if you walked into that door
Right.
tomorrow and somebody spent $10 billion, what would the price of coins be?
Well, you couldn't buy.
Yeah, you do it.
You
Come on, I
couldn't
can price
buy
some of that. I
$1
can
billion
price
worth
my
of
coins that I'm out in.
I can go buy $1 billion worth of gold tomorrow. I can't
Right.
buy $1 billion worth of coins in 10 years. Well, maybe 10 years.
Sit Kevin and I. Come back tomorrow.
I'll fill you up in under that time.
We can do it a lot quicker.
The real bubbles though, China.
Yeah.
Chinese paintings have gone, the most expensive Chinese painting is 95 million. They just sold for 65. That's the real.
It's like Russian.
Gold, we need gold to get to that level too.
So you think gold's going to continue up?
Why wouldn't it?
I think it's reasonably good. But
Oh, by the way, just some interesting side note, what you said. The higher gold goes, the lower my margins have
Yeah, but your volume.
been. No, my volume is, but my margins have never been small.
Your product mix is a lot different, Kevin.
No, margins have dropped a lot, and I think it's competition launches. Margins have dropped a lot because we're competing in auctions.
Yes, but his product
He was
mix
talking
has
about
changed a
It's
lot.
seven
Yes, there
points.
are.
Well, think about it, when gold's $300 an ounce, you make 10% on gold, you make $30. Now, to make $30 on an ounce of gold, I mean, it's, it's barely a little over 1%. One and a
Oh,
half.
give me that 2% action, Danny. I'll take it all day long.
I don't know, we're probably gonna wrap this up pretty quick, but since Kevin is the man of the hour, and since I presume we're getting to the end of this, I work for two very smart, savvy people, and I was sent in to do a deal with Kevin once as a partner. It was actually not done, and for whatever reason, they needed a suit. To send into this deal to a group of attorneys and accountants on a multi-million dollar deal. And they sent me in because they said, well, Kevin Lipton's going to be our partner on this, he's going to be our wingman on this, and but because we're sending Kevin in, they need to send a suit. And, to keep Kevin behaved, to make sure that Kevin behaves, okay? And they said, Todd, you're going to end up going to do this. And I said, first thing out of my mouth, I said, I hadn't been with Heritage very long. And I said, Kevin Lipton, I said, I mean, pretty sharky guy. I said, you're going to be partners with this guy on this sort of deal? This is tens of millions involved here. And to do it, and I said, you can trust him, I can trust him, I can be as candid as you're telling me to do it. And Big Wolf looked at me incredulously and said, there's not a single person in the history of the film business that we trust more than Kevin.
Wow.
So, and they said, they said you are to disclose everything you know to Kevin. and to help you guys formulate an offer and everything else. So, to make this story as short as possible, we go into the negotiation on this deal, and there's attorneys, accountants, all sorts of different people, and we're negotiating this thing. And we figure out that we're basically the only guys that are really capable of completing this deal. I'm holding an envelope with a bid for approximately $15 million check that we're going to buy this thing. And Kevin calls like a timeout, and we call back to Dallas and everything else. I say, let's just present the check, let's get this thing done and get this thing out of here. Kevin goes, no. He goes, these guys aren't coin dealers. He goes, these guys are just stupid attorneys. And accountants, he goes, take the check out, cross out the 15 leg left. And he goes, trust me. I said, you're out of your freaking board. I said, Jim and Steve are going to fire me for this if we don't get this thing. And Kevin just goes, trust me. He goes, to do it. We're in the middle of this negotiation. Kevin takes the check from me, and he goes, we came here prepared to pay $15 million. He goes, we have no competition. We're going to present you with a check for $11 million, and you're going to take it. And these guys just go, blah, 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 blah. Kevin goes, all right, look it. And by the way, Kevin walks in off the beach in sandals and tie-dye t-shirt. Into this negotiation in the boardroom. Kevin looks at him, and they're jolly back and forth. Kevin goes, all right, look. He goes, I need to get back to the beach. And he goes, I'm going to explain this to you as if you guys are fucking coin dealers. And he goes, and I mean that with the utmost respect, because this is how we do things in the coin business. We're telling you exactly how it is. We're being totally forthright with you, 100%. Our check is honorable. Our word is honorable. This is your last opportunity to take this, or you're going to lose more money on this with the heirs involved. I thought Kevin was 100% wrong. I told Jim and Steve that I thought that this was a major mistake, and they decided to Kevin, and Kevin was correct. One of those great learning experiences, but I'll never forget the look on these attorneys and accountants' faces when Kevin looked at me and said, all right, look, he goes, I gotta get back to the beach with you, so I'm just gonna explain this to you.
They were just sitting there doing nothing.
And that was Kevin's
It wasn't
voice.
like, wait a minute, first of all, it's not like they were doing anything. They were just sitting there. There's like nothing was going on. I said, we're just sitting here doing nothing. If we were doing something, we'd be fine.
It was, hopefully that kind of sums up Kevin. He's a doer, high integrity, in your face, totally candid, honest, high integrity.
May I run one deal? May I run one deal?
Okay.
Just one. We were involved in purchasing my former partner, Larry Hemmer.
Could you speak up just a tad?
You or everybody?
I've shot too many
We were
guns.
to purchase a bag of Omen silver dollars. And this gentleman who's still around in the business.
Obvious.
With the same reputation, with a larger gut. And we financed him for $180,000 on an non-viewed, sight unseen bag of dollars, which is, I said, essentially the same as buying dynamite from this guy. And he delivered it a week late with stories, and the bag was not what it was supposed to have been. Instead of an original bag, it was a piece bag of 1,000 XF NAU coins. Hence, the $180,000 was worth about $30,000 at the very most. And my ex-partner and me were there holding the bag, literally. And Kevin's my brother, he's my friend. We both, for different reasons, have been estranged from our existing brothers. But he's my brother. And there it was that we had partnered the deal. Oh, I love that detail. We had partnered the deal with Kevin. My ex-partner is a little softer than the next man, and he was starting to buy the Hughes story. We now know his name is Bobby Hughes.
We will edit that part out.
That's hilarious.
I appreciate it. He went and got in front of Mr. Hughes. Now, bear in mind, there was nothing written, there was nothing stated. And as far as Kevin would have said, or anybody would have said to us, you didn't deliver, you're out of luck, eat it. And he backed us, he supported us, and we got it all back. I almost went to jail for it, but we didn't get it all back. We did.
That's the part where he made him poop in his pants.
Yes, he did make Bobby Bean poop in his pants. He made him poop in his pants. And I can see stand up. He's all hard.
This is not a Kevin Lipton, like.
It's not a roast.
I'm not dying.
This is your life.
I'm living, leave me alone.
You know what, Kevin, I've had enough. I'm tired, I want to go to bed.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. I enjoy talking to you. Thank you.
But because our ex-president Jay showed up, we have a plaque for Jay. We also have one for the birthday boy. Steve, your birthday? Your birthday today. Steve is outgoing president, and over the next couple of weeks or month, we'll email everybody and try to figure out who's going to lead this organization next year.
Thanks for coming. It was great having all of you. And I want to thank Kevin. It was fabulous. And you'll see this on our website.
Will it be on
We're gonna edit it.